Speaking of not a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I watched a movie from Disney's Dark Age, which was, of course, in the 70s and 80s. It was the Great Mouse Detective. I've been kind of going back and trying to watch some of these older animated Disney movies just so that I can kind of compare it to what they're doing now.
Weird how we keep running into tiny mice who detectives or adventurers who help people,
Yes. Yeah,
specifically who help find missing people.
yeah, yeah, which is that's the plot of this movie. Um, so so the movie starts off. We meet a mouse toy maker and his daughter, and then the toy maker gets kidnapped by the bad guys. And she goes looking for Basil of Baker Street, who is basically the mouse stand-in for Sherlock Holmes.
Shh, you want to get sued?
Yeah. uh, and then she runs into Dawson, who is the stand-in for Watson. Um, and they go to Basil because she wants him to help her find her dad, and they come to find out that her dad was kidnapped by the bad guy. I'm trying to remember what the bad guy's name was.
Radigan.
Radigan, right? Radigan, who's voiced by Vincent Price.
Peak villain casting.
Oh yeah, um, and his grand scheme is to have the toy maker, who is voiced by the same guy who voiced Scrooge McDuck in Ducktales, same voice and all. And to use his talents as a toy maker to basically make a robot version of the Mouse Queen, who's basically the Queen Victoria,
Just
uh,
mouse sized.
just mouse sized, yeah, and replace her so that he can take over the country. And Basil is trying to. Of course, Radigan is basically again the stand. Radigan's the stand-in for Moriarty. Um, and if you know anything about Holmes and Moriarty, they are always in these battles of wits and everything. And this the same with Basil and Radigan. And it's Basil is basically just uh, basically Sherlock Holmes minus the nose candy addiction.
Now, you don't know what he's doing off camera.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You don't
Um,
need a lot of coke to make a mouse see
yeah,
things.
that's true. um, but yeah, it's this is a fun little movie. I think if Disney was making more movies like this in the 70s and 80s, they probably would have been doing a lot better as a company.
Yeah, though I don't know how this one did, though. You might have just suffered from being surrounded by other uninspired movies.
That's true. Yeah. Well, 80s 86. I'm trying to remember what of the movies came out in 86. I mean, you had like Star Trek 4, Top
Oh,
Gun.
okay. Although different audience. Actually, I would
That's
say,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember watching this when I was young, and I'm not that old that I was able to see it in '86. I always thought it was a way later the movie than it actually was because they must have been showing it in some theater or other when I was 6 or 7. Because I saw this in a theater, I know that much.
Yeah, they probably re-released it at some point. I remember seeing like the on the rare occasions when I would watch a Disney movie on VHS, I would see a promo for this with their great voice actor, the Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah, that. Oh man, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you hadn't actually seen this before?
No, I'd never seen it before. This was my first time.
Okay.
But yeah, it is very similar to both the Rescuers movies. In terms of kind of the plot structure and the fact that there's this mouse civilization with the human civil living parallel with the human civilization, and I will say the climax of the movie, which you were watching a clip of it before the show, was really good. They actually used they're inside Big Ben, and you see all the clock gears, and the clock gears are all CGI, like early CGI, when they look pretty good.
Yeah, catching that little clip reminded me of a couple of things. So they also had to seem like there was like a big, like a rabbit in a wheel coming after them.
Yeah,
That wheel was also CGI. And then, do you remember this movie is more deeply rooted in my brain than I thought it was.
yeah.
Do you remember when he showed up as a really insensitive Chinese stereotype and fired a gun into a pillow, then was comparing the ballistics?
Yes, yeah.
So first off, it's baby's first uh, introduction to ballistic forensics,
Yeah.
but also I bet you if you looked carefully, those rotating bullets were also CGI because that's exactly what CGI would be good for in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah,
That type
no
of
doubt,
rotation.
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
this movie is also kind of infamous among anime fans because that ending scene with the clock tower, uh,
Mhm.
depending on who you talk to, it was either inspired by or shamelessly ripped off of the Miyazaki Lupin the Third movie, The Castle of Cagliostro,
Ah,
wh- which had come out like somewhere like under around 10 years earlier, somewhere in that ballpark.
mm, yeah, okay.
Which that's also a fine movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I would also say having looked at it, it's like okay, I think I see where a lot of furries came from. Between
Yeah, yeah.
you combine this and the rescuers and the rescue rangers and like
Mhm. Yeah, and a few other, yeah, Disney movies, yeah.
mm,
Or oh, and what, not Disney, but, Lola Bunny.
yeah, though that would be less likely to give people a mouse fetish, more likely to give them a bunny fetish.
That's true.
It was me. I won't quote that dumb. It was me, Barry thing.
Oh, yeah, it
I'm
was
the
me.
one who took the curves off of Lola Bunny for the new for the for the new Space Jam with LeBron James.
Oh, jeez. But,
Really? Yes, like I haven't seen it recently, but I have fond memories, which either means that kid me was right and Daniel's right, or it means that I would watch and be horribly crushed and like, my memories are lying to me.
no, no, I think your memories are good, and,
Good,
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, no, this is a fun movie, and short, it's 75 minutes, yeah,
Huh? That is kind of short.
yeah.
I, what wasn't Rescuers Down Under also really short?
Yeah, it was right around there, yeah, like 75, 80 minutes, yeah.
Huh. I wonder how they got away with that. Because I think isn't 90 usually the minimum?
I think 70 is the minimum.
Okay. I guess animation is expensive, and if you're making it for a kid audience,
Mhm.
it's that it's way easier to keep their attention for that long.
Yeah, and like I said, this was made during their dark age, the Disney dark age, so they were really cutting back on, on
Right.
their spending.
Probably being kept alive by the Disney Channel and especially the parks.
Yes, yes, especially the parks, yeah. But, yeah, Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus, yeah.
Yep.